Have you ever noticed how the most powerful moments between a man and a woman often happen before anything physical even begins? Think about it. The first glance, that pause before the first touch, the way silence can carry more electricity than words, those are the moments that make her heartbeat rise, that make her body crave what's coming next. The truth is most men rush. They think intimacy starts with physical moves, but women understand something deeper. They understand that anticipation is the most intoxicating foreplay there is. And if you can master anticipation, you'll hold a power that most men will never even discover. See, anticipation is about creating a sense of inevitability. It's about letting her feel that something exciting is coming, but not giving it away too soon. Women don't beg for the physical act itself as much as they beg for the build up to it, the thrill, the suspense, the emotional intensity that makes the moment unforgettable. When a man understands this, he stops acting like he's in a race. He slows down. He starts enjoying the process of creating desire instead of just chasing release. And when you give her that, she will feel something so rare, so magnetic, that she will crave you in a way she's never craved anyone else. Now, here's the secret. Anticipation is not only about the body, it's about the mind. When you know how to engage a woman's emotions, when you know how to stimulate her imagination, she begins to experience you long before you've even touched her. The sound of your voice, the weight of your gaze, the way you carry yourself in the room, all of these are part of anticipation. A woman can be turned on by the way you look at her across a table, by the pause you take before answering her question, by the way you lean in just enough to make her wonder what you'll do next. That's power. That's mastery. And here's the beautiful thing, anticipation makes her an active participant. Instead of you chasing her, she leans in, waiting, wondering, desiring. That's when she starts to beg without saying a word. Her body language changes, her breathing shifts, her energy starts to pull toward you. Why? Because you didn't just touch her body, you touched her mind first. You awakened the part of her that most men overlook completely. And once you do that, she'll never forget you. She'll never compare you to anyone else, because you gave her something she didn't even know she was craving. Too many men think anticipation is just about waiting longer or teasing physically. But anticipation is about confidence. It's about holding back because you know you don't have to rush. It's about showing her, without words, that you are in control of yourself and the moment. When you slow down, when you take your time, you show her that you're not desperate. You show her that you're in command. And women find that unbelievably attractive. It tells her you're a man who knows his value, a man who doesn't need to prove himself through speed, but through presence. Think of it this way: if intimacy were a song, most men play it like noise, too fast, too loud, without rhythm. But anticipation is like music. It builds, it has tension, it rises and falls. It keeps her guessing what's next. And when the moment finally arrives, it feels earned. That's why women beg for it. Not because of the move itself, but because of the story you built leading up to it. So how do you master anticipation in your own life? Start with presence. Put down the distractions, look into her eyes, really see her. When she feels that your attention is undivided, her body starts to relax, her guard comes down, and she feels safe enough to surrender to the moment. Next, learn the art of silence. You don't always have to fill the space with words. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let the silence hang heavy between you. Let her imagination run wild with what might happen next. And finally, touch with intention. Don't rush to the obvious. A hand on her lower back, a brush against her arm. Even the absence of touch can be more powerful than anything else if you know how to use it. Every woman wants to feel chosen, desired, but not rushed. When you show her that you have the patience to build anticipation, you send a message. I'm not here just to take. I'm here to experience this with you. That's what separates a forgettable encounter from an unforgettable one. That's what makes her think about you long after you've left. That's what makes her crave you even in your absence. And here's the ultimate truth. Anticipation is respect. It's saying, I value this enough to take my time. It's showing her that the connection is more important than the act itself. And when a woman feels respected, safe, and desired all at once, she will not only beg for the moment. She will treasure it, she will replay it in her mind, and she will want more. Anticipation turns intimacy into something sacred, something that elevates both of you beyond the physical into the emotional, the psychological, and even the spiritual. So remember this, it's not about what happens when the lights go out, it's about what happens before. It's not about the moves you make, it's about the energy you create. If you can master anticipation, You'll never need to chase her again because she'll already be running toward you. Let me ask you something that might sound simple, but runs deeper than most people realize. What do women find irresistible in a man? Is it money, looks, charm? No. What truly captivates a woman is when a man knows how to lead with confidence while still making her feel safe. That balance between dominance and gentle control is what women secretly beg for, but rarely find. It's not about being aggressive, and it's not about being passive. It's about being the kind of man who knows how to take charge without ever making her feel disrespected. That's the sweet spot, and once you learn to master it, you'll understand why it makes you unforgettable. See, dominance in this context is often misunderstood. Too many men hear the word and think it means force, power, or trying to control everything around them. That's not dominance. True dominance is calm, steady confidence. It's the ability to step into a room and not need to raise your voice for people to feel your presence. It's when she looks at you and knows instantly, this is a man who knows himself, who trusts himself, who doesn't flinch under pressure. That kind of presence is magnetic, and it draws women in without you even trying. But here's the part most men miss: dominance without gentleness is intimidating. Dominance without kindness is arrogance, and women don't crave that. What they beg for is the man who knows how to lead but also knows how to listen, who can take control of a moment but also knows when to be tender. Gentle control is the key. It's the subtle way you guide her through an experience without making her feel powerless. It's the hand on her back as you walk through a crowded place, the calm reassurance in your voice when she feels unsure, the steady way you hold eye contact that makes her feel seen and safe. That is where dominance becomes irresistible. Think about it. Most women spend their days in a world where they're expected to be strong, independent, constantly in control of themselves. But when they're with a man who can carry that weight for a moment, who can make them feel like they don't have to be on guard, it's like a breath of fresh air. That's when she melts into you. That's when she craves you, because you've given her something rare, the freedom to let go. Now let's talk about what gentle control looks like in action. It's not about barking orders. It's about creating an atmosphere where she naturally follows your lead. Maybe it's as simple as confidently choosing the table when you go out to eat, or guiding the flow of the conversation in a way that makes her feel comfortable and included. Maybe it's the way you set the tone in an intimate moment, not by rushing, but by signaling through your actions and your energy that you know where this is going and you're in no hurry to get there. She feels that. She trusts that. And that trust is everything. Dominance is also about emotional leadership. A man who loses his temper, who reacts impulsively, who crumbles under pressure, he's not dominant, he's unstable. True dominance is the ability to stay calm when others panic, to hold steady when things go wrong. When you show that kind of strength, women can lean on you. They see you as their anchor, and that's when you stop being just another man and become the man she can't imagine being without. And here's the secret: the more gentle your control, the stronger your dominance feels, because women know they can trust you not to abuse it. They know that when you take the lead, it's not about ego, it's about connection. That's why she begs for it, because deep down, every woman wants a man who makes her feel both desired and safe at the same time. And only the balance of dominance and gentleness can do that. Think of it like this: dominance is the fire, gentle control is the oxygen. One without the other doesn't create the heat she's craving. But together, they create an experience she can't forget. And it's not something you fake. It comes from truly knowing yourself, from being grounded, from being confident enough to lead without fear, and compassionate enough to care about how she feels along the way. And let's not forget, dominance and control don't end when the moment does. They show up in how you live your life. Do you follow through on your word? Do you handle challenges with grace? Do you stand firm in your values even when it's not easy? That's dominance in its truest form. And when she sees that you live this way, not just with her, but in everything you do, she'll trust your leadership on a level most men will never experience. So if you want to master this, remember, it's not about overpowering her. It's about guiding her. It's not about being cold. It's about being steady. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present. When you can strike that balance, when you can embody strength with softness, leadership with compassion, dominance with gentle control, you won't just attract her, you'll captivate her. Because at the end of the day, it's not the loudest man in the room who wins her heart. It's the one who makes her feel safe enough to surrender and strong enough to follow his lead. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why some men can do the exact same thing as others, but when they do it, it feels unforgettable, almost addictive? The truth is, it's not about the move, it's about the rhythm, the energy, and the intention behind it. Women don't remember mechanics. They remember how the touch made them feel, how it sent a wave through their body, how it pulled them deeper into the moment. And that's why mastering the art of touch and rhythm is one of the greatest secrets you'll ever learn. Here's the problem: most men are in a hurry. They treat intimacy like a sprint, rushing to the finish line, focusing on the act itself instead of the experience. But women beg for something different. They crave a man who knows how to slow down, who knows how to be intentional, who understands that the most powerful moments happen when you're not just touching her body, you're speaking to her soul. And you do that through rhythm. Rhythm is about pacing. It's about understanding that intensity without control is overwhelming and slowness without energy is boring. The magic happens in the balance. Think of music: a beat that's too fast becomes noise, a beat that's too slow loses excitement. But when the rhythm flows, when it rises and falls with perfect timing, it pulls you in and keeps you there. That's exactly how a woman experiences touch. It's not about what you're doing, it's about how you're doing it and whether you're tuned in to her reactions. The secret most men never discover is that touch is a conversation. It's not one-sided. Every movement you make is saying something, and her body is responding. If you're paying attention, you'll notice it. The shift in her breathing, the way she leans in, the way her body softens. That's her answer. And if you're truly present, you'll respond back by adjusting your rhythm to match hers. That's how intimacy becomes alive. That's how it stops being a routine and starts being an experience she begs for again and again. Women crave touch that feels intentional. Not careless, not rushed, not thoughtless, but touch that tells her, I see you, I feel you, I'm here with you. It could be as simple as a hand brushing across her skin with patience, or holding her close with just enough firmness to make her feel secure without feeling controlled. What matters is that she feels you're tuned in, that you're not just going through the motions, but creating something unique in that very moment. That's what rhythm really is: awareness, responsiveness, and connection. And let me tell you, rhythm doesn't just happen physically. It's emotional too. When you're confident, calm, and in the moment, your energy flows naturally, and she feels that rhythm without you saying a word. If you're distracted, anxious, or trying too hard, she feels that too. And the rhythm breaks. That's why mastering rhythm isn't about tricks or techniques. It's about mastering yourself first. Being grounded, being patient, being fully present. Because when you're present, every touch feels powerful. One of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking more is better. More speed, more pressure, more effort. But women beg for less rushing, less forcing, less noise. They want depth, not excess. The power of rhythm is in the pauses, the moments of stillness that make her anticipate what's next. Think of it like a wave: it rises, it falls, it crashes, and then it pulls back before building again. That natural flow is what keeps her engaged. When you understand that, your touch becomes unforgettable. And here's something most men never realize: the anticipation you build with rhythm is often more satisfying than the climax itself. The slow build, the gentle tease, the way you create expectation with every touch. That's what makes her beg. Because you've turned the moment into a journey, not a destination. And journeys are what women replay in their minds long after the night is over. To master rhythm, you need to develop sensitivity. Pay attention not only to what you're doing, but to how she's reacting. Listen with your hands, with your eyes, with your intuition. Her body will tell you everything you need to know: when to speed up, when to slow down, when to pause. And when you match her, when your rhythm syncs with hers, it creates something electric. It's not just physical, it's emotional, it's psychological, it's spiritual. That's why it stays with her. The art of touch is really the art of presence. It's saying without words, you matter. I'm here, I feel you. And that message, delivered through rhythm, is what makes her crave you long after you've gone. Women don't beg for careless hands, they beg for intentional ones. They don't beg for rushed rhythm. They beg for patient rhythm. And they don't beg for shallow experiences. They beg for ones that reach deep into their soul. So if you want to stand out, if you want to be the man she can't forget, don't focus on learning new tricks or rushing to the end. Focus on rhythm. Focus on making every touch deliberate, every pause intentional, every moment alive with presence. Because when you master the art of touch and rhythm, you don't just satisfy her body, you capture her mind, her heart, and her memory forever. Because in the end, she won't remember what you did. She'll remember how your rhythm made her feel. Let me tell you something most men don't want to hear. Women don't remember the moves as much as they remember the man behind them. You can learn every trick, every tip, every so-called secret, but if you don't have confidence, it won't matter. Confidence is the difference between being forgettable and being unforgettable. Confidence is what turns even the simplest touch into something magnetic. And confidence is what makes her feel like she's with a man who knows exactly who he is and exactly what he brings to the table. Here's the truth. Technique without confidence feels empty. You can follow all the right steps, you can even master the rhythm and anticipation, but if you second guess yourself, if you doubt yourself, she'll feel it instantly. Women are highly intuitive. They pick up on energy faster than words. If you're insecure, if you're worried about whether you're doing something right, that uncertainty leaks out and it breaks the moment. But when you're confident, when you move with certainty, when you carry yourself like you know she's already enjoying the experience, you don't just attract her, you captivate her. The most powerful men aren't the ones who know 1,000 moves. They're the ones who can take one simple move and make it feel like a masterpiece because of the energy they bring into it. Think about that. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what you do with conviction. Women beg for that, not because of the technique itself, but because confidence makes her feel secure. It tells her, you don't have to worry, I've got this. Just let go. And when a woman feels that kind of assurance, she surrenders to the moment. But let's be clear, there's a huge difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence is calm, steady, rooted. Arrogance is loud, insecure, desperate for validation. Arrogance tries to prove itself. Confidence doesn't need to. Confidence is quiet power. It's the way you look at her without hesitation, the way you hold her like she belongs there, the way you move with ease because you're not trying to be someone else. You're simply being yourself. That's the kind of presence that makes her melt. You see, confidence isn't built in the bedroom. It's built in your life. It's how you carry yourself when no one is watching. It's keeping your word, following through on what you say, being disciplined, and having direction. When you live with confidence, it shows up everywhere. And when you step into a moment with a woman, she feels that life experience, that grounded energy, that stability. That's why she's drawn to you. Not just because of what you do, but because of who you are. Women don't want perfection, they want presence. They don't want a flawless man, they want a man who makes them feel something real. Confidence does that, allows you to stop overthinking, to stop calculating your every move and instead just be in the moment. And when you're fully present, she feels seen, she feels chosen, she feels desired in a way that goes beyond technique. And here's something most men never realize: confidence actually makes your mistakes invisible. You could stumble, you could be imperfect, but if you own it with confidence, she won't care. In fact, she'll find it charming. Because what matters to her is not that you were perfect, it's that you were unapologetically yourself. When you stop chasing perfection and start embracing confidence, you free both yourself and her to enjoy the experience without pressure. Think of it this way: confidence is the frame, technique the picture. Without the frame, the picture loses its shape. But with a strong frame, even the simplest picture looks like art. That's exactly what happens when you lead with confidence. You don't need to overcompensate, you don't need to rush, you don't need to prove anything. Because your presence alone is already enough. Women beg for that kind of man. The man who doesn't need to perform, doesn't need to pretend, doesn't need to hide behind tricks. They beg for the man who stands tall in his truth, who moves with certainty, who looks at them with eyes that say, I already know you're mine. That energy can't be faked. It's something you cultivate by truly believing in yourself. And the beauty of confidence is that it multiplies everything else. Anticipation becomes more powerful because she trusts you won't rush it. Dominance becomes more attractive because she knows you'll never misuse it. Rhythm becomes more intoxicating because you're not second guessing. You're flowing naturally. Confidence is the foundation. Without it, nothing works. With it, everything works. So if you want to master intimacy, stop obsessing over technique and start building yourself. Build your discipline, your mindset, your self-respect. Walk into every room like you belong there. Treat yourself like you're valuable, and she will feel that value. Because confidence doesn't come from memorizing steps. It comes from knowing who you are and refusing to shrink for anyone. That's why, at the end of the day, it's not the man with the fanciest moves who wins. It's the man with unshakable confidence. Because when you believe in yourself, she believes in you. And when she believes in you, she'll give you everything she has without holding back. Because in the end, confidence isn't just attractive, it's irresistible.